Guys and girls, are you struggling to win Civ 7 or just really do what you want and you're not really sure how to get better? Well, this guide is for you. I'm your casual dad. I have 1,000 hours in Civ games, and I'll be walking you through a little bit excruciatingly how to go from where you're at to being a pro. All right, and so let's just jump right into it without any preamble or anything. Okay, I've set this up to be the most beginner friendly that I think it could possibly be. This is almost a year since launch, and it's doing pretty good, guys. Okay, so before we get to analyzing our start, let's just see who we are. Okay, we are Himiko, Queen of Wa. Okay, and the reason why I think this is a really good start, okay, if you guys haven't seen my 3 simple rules to beating the AI video, I will link that down in the description. On the pinned comment, you go and check that out. But Himiko, Queen of Wa helps you fulfill all those rules from that video pretty easily. Also, don't forget there will be timestamps down below, so don't be afraid to skip around and go to whatever section you are having the most trouble with. So I want this to be short and concise and help you and not make you sit through an hour-and-a-half video like some other guide videos to get one nugget. So go look at whatever section you need. That's fine. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought about it. Are there other things I did not mention that you need help with? And I'll answer those down in the comments. Now, back to it. We have Himiko. Okay, she gets this unique endeavor called Friend of Way that can be performed in an alliance. And it gives you and your ally plus 25% science. That's huge. Okay, she also gets plus 4 science per age for every leader that she is friendly or helpful with. Doesn't even have to be ally, friendly or helpful. All right, so then that means next age is plus 8, then plus 12 in the modern age. And this is what's key: she can support endeavors for free. So if you go, I'm not gonna spoil it, but if you go look at the video about the simple rules, there is a section in there about diplomacy. This will really help. Now, I've paired her with the Mississippians, and you may be like, why did you do that? Well, I think Mississippians in general are one of the best and strongest civilizations you can start off with, unless you're playing some niche strategy. But as this is a beginner guide, this is going to be good for pretty much anybody. And honestly, if I'm not feeling a certain strategy, even though I play on Deity all the time, this is the civilization I go with, and here's why. All buildings get +1 food adjacency for resources. Okay, so that means your food is going to skyrocket, and it just becomes so easy. Okay, we get production towards the Monk's Mound, which is helpful for more resources locked into a city. Another reason, their unique unit, the Burning Arrow. Okay, this increases their bombard strength. They have +3 combat strength against siege units, and it applies burning status to tiles for 2 turns. And so this burning status, it varies depending on difficulty, but it is about, what I noticed, about half of the combat strength applied per turn. And so why I like this for beginners and just really for anybody is if you're being attacked, you can shoot. You have like 2 or 3 of these burning arrows. You don't have to focus fire. You can light several hexes on fire and they'll burn. And especially if you're playing defensively, which is my suggestion for a newbie, play defensive around your city. They don't hurt your city or your buildings, which I think Praxis probably should change that. But until they do, this is great. You can just literally ring your city in fire whenever there's a unit there, and the AI will not usually stand in that. If they do, they're going to stand in it. They're going to hit your city. They're going to take damage from hitting your city and from the fire damage that turn, so they die really quick. That's why I like that. Now, we have this unique merchant, which is super helpful. It establishes a trade route like all, but you get 25 gold per resource when creating a trade route. So what does this mean? It means exactly what you think. If you do a trade route from your capital city to another capital city, and that capital city has 4 resources, that's 100 gold just for establishing that trade route. And you want to talk about huge, especially in Deity and Immortal, that's a huge bonus. Okay, now their unique building is pretty easy. You don't have to have synergies. You don't have to build 2 of them to unlock a unique district. It's very simple. You get +1 gold and then +1 food for each adjacent resource. So really, you can double down and you get 2 because of the Goose Societies. Okay, their traditions make it even better. You get food and gold on the warehouse buildings. More gold adjacency for resources. So not only are you getting your food out of the way, you're getting your gold. out of the way, which was part of my simple rules. You get happiness and gold from imported resources, which you're obviously going to want to do. And then you get more combat strength when defending with your already strong range units. So it's just great all around. And as a beginner, you want to go something simple with the mementos. Maybe you don't have a whole lot unlocked, or you're just not sure how to play them and get good synergies. I feel like these are a couple of really good ones that pair well with what we're doing here. We get a scientific attribute point, and then with the Antiquity Age mechanism, and then the Garuda statue, +1 population to your smallest settlement every time you start a celebration. That's just going to help double down on growing your settlements, especially later in the age, as they don't have as much time to grow with their food, and maybe you've created more cities. We'll see what happens. But that's who we have, who we picked. Some other ones I was thinking about, Ben Franklin's pretty good because he gets cheaper production buildings, which help you steamroll. Patrick Cute is really good because of his extra food to mountain ranges, and then you're going to obviously spawn near those. Tecumseh is really good because Tecumseh gets plus food, production, and combat strength for city-states that you're suzerain of. But I just want to keep things real simple, real easy. And Himiko, Queen of Wa, and Patrick are probably the two easiest ones for beginners. But I just did another playthrough of Patrick, which I'll also link down below. I didn't want to do him again, so we're going with Himiko. Okay, now let's jump right into it. Analyzing your start. I found this start. This was actually the first one after I loaded in. I should also mention we are playing standard map size, so several people, Deity. Okay, we're gonna do Pangea Plus just to really show off the Queen of Wa and the endeavors for free. It's gonna be super helpful. But we're also going to be playing without the crises. I'm not a big fan of them, and while you're trying to learn and get better, turn them off unless you like a certain one. That's just going to help you. Continuity mode, so it changes as we go throughout, because this is going to be an in-depth guide that we take throughout a whole game. And then the last one is I did long age links, so we're going to have between, I think it's like 125 and 180 turns per age until the modern age. So it gives us plenty of time to talk through and explain things, and then it's going to help you out. Anyways, let's get back to analyzing the start. So this is my first roll, and at first it looks pretty good. We got some good resources and everything, but I have to point out this coastal spot here. To me, this is basically a dead tile. Okay, and here's why. When you come into your science, you're not really going to be going sailing a whole lot off the bat, unless you have a lot of water, you're on the coast, you're a coastal civ, you're playing some kind of fractal or archipelago map or something like that where you just have a lot of water. So that's going to be pretty late compared to your other things that you're going to need and want. And then you don't really get anything else good. You get your market up here, and then you get your lighthouse. Your lighthouse is all the way over here, so which is like late in the game. Okay, so baths you could use there. Like there's some things you could use on that spit of water, but everything is so late that it's really kind of useless to me. And so when I look at this, 1 food, 1 gold, if we were to snag that, it's just not helpful. So this is kind of dead. This is almost like a mountain tile. It's like not helpful. But I don't really want to move anywhere else because right here I saw that dead tile, but if I move out here, I'm now taking away a really good adjacency tile, because again, we're playing where our buildings get food and gold adjacency for resources. Well, if I go here, I can only put 1 building in my city center. I'm going to be losing some of that. Now, we're not going to be min-maxing. If you know anything about the channel, we don't min-max, but we give some simple general rules that are going to help you destroy the AI, because you can destroy AI without min-maxing. Okay, so that is why I rolled a couple times to see if we could get a little bit better start, and I'm going to show you what I think is going to be that better start. All right, here we are with our other start. I think is going to be better, even though we have 1 less resource off the bat. Also, I failed to mention what makes the other one dead is you don't have a navigable river that can go through. It's just that 1 water tile. And so if it was a navigable river, that'd be different. It would have been a good start. We could have done it. But here we have a good start. Let's see. We've got some wine. happiness in the capital, and 5 culture when in a celebration. That's going to be super helpful to get out to pretty quick. And then we have, which I consider probably one of the best, if not the best resource in the game, mangoes. We get +2 food and +2 culture. Anything that gives culture, science, food, especially combined together, pretty good. We have 2 of those right here. So I'm looking at this. We'll look at our settler map mode. Yeah, I mean, we could scoot over, but that's a discovery that gives us a 3rd scout, or maybe it's a warrior. The only exception to this is if I'm playing as the Mayans, because of their Jaguar Slayer, which is their scout, can also attack and defend and has their traps. In that case, I go 4 Jaguar Slayers immediately. They're slightly less damage than the warrior, but they do help out in a pinch and can get out pretty quick. Otherwise, I usually do 3 scouts and a warrior if I have the time, depending on that opening. So we're going to do that, and we're going to see what happens. And we're going to take some snapshots here, all right? We're going to do a few turns, and then we're going to skip ahead and see what we're going to do after that. Okay, so it comes out right here. We can pick a direction. All right, well, since they changed from Civ 6, we know we're pretty close to the top of the map. So why don't we just move to over 1, and then we'll pop this right here to search around for anything helpful. Well, we found that, we found nothing, and we found this one. We found this. This is good. A quarry, that's within 3. We found more mangoes. Okay, what do we find over here? Browse food on warehouse buildings, super good. What I like to do, especially as a beginner, it would be helpful to focus on your warehouse buildings, because even your settlements that are not cities get warehouse buildings now. A year later, it wasn't like that when it started. And so things for warehouse buildings is definitely the strong option, and if you have a choice, go for those things. Okay, so now we're just gonna do a little bit of exploring, and we're gonna see what we come up with, and we'll come back at probably about turn 10 to give a little bit of a recap. All right, here we are back. It's not quite turn 10, but that's because we got a little camp that gave us some culture. Now we're picking our government. Now, unless I'm going for war, I don't really pick despotism. I think I've picked it once in my hundreds of hours of Civ 7. Almost 1,000 hours at this point. Classical Republic's pretty good. Culture, and then production to your wonders is really great. Helps you get through your culture tree where almost all the wonders live, and then build those wonders faster. And then oligarchy, 20% food, and then 30% towards constructing buildings. Man, this synergizes really well with Mississippi because of all the extra food bonuses, and then you get plus 10% production towards constructing buildings all the time when you unlock one of their masteries in their civics. So this is pretty hard to beat because you're gonna be growing so fast, and your production is gonna really outcap this, because this is nice, but are you really going to be doing your wonders only when you have this active? Probably not. I think, I mean, we don't know anybody else, but with 13 culture per turn, not too bad. And we've got some culture around us that's going to really be increasing us. I mean, 20% culture, let's see what that is. 13, that's 1.3, that's 2.6. I mean, one of these little resource things is going to get that. I know it increases later, but I think I'd rather have, it's going to take so much longer to scale up than the food and production. I'm going to go oligarchy here. I will put the culture in on the palace to increase that even more, to get us going even faster. But yeah, that's what we're doing. And then we chose to go for pottery just because of what we had immediately available. We had more mines and quarries and things available. And then I grew here to here because we wanted this plantation, the mangoes. Also, pottery gives us +1 food on plantations, which has made this super good for us. And it's going to be helping us to increase our population very fast. What we'll probably do is we'll probably pick up a mine for production next, because we do need a little bit of help with that. Our brickyard will be going, let's see, extra food for our production here. Normally I don't want the brickyard here because this is a mine, but I'm going to change it this time because we have 3 resources right here. All right, so 3 resources. You need to think production and science. Okay, this is going to be really good. 3 science, 3 production district, and then with our bonuses, it's going to be a ton of food. So even though we usually would be putting it somewhere else because of that woodcutter being taken out, it's gonna be pretty good for us. And I did just see a few turns ago, somewhere in this direction, a hostile city-state. Their scout coming through, and I'm thinking we're on the western edge of Pangea. So because of that, instead of going straight into riding or sailing, because it looks like we are on the coast, I'm gonna go into animal husbandry to get those burning arrows to help defend us. And now we're gonna keep going, and we'll come back in about another 10 turns. All right, turn 20 is here, and we're choosing our pantheon. I really like the clay pits, mines, and quarries and settlements with an altar. That's just a good, just all around pantheon, no matter what. I mean, 10% production towards buildings is also really good, especially if you're not focused on military units and you don't need that flexibility. But it does falter when it comes to your wonders. I don't like the wonder specific because then you don't get anything else. That's so stone circles is my go-to, unless I'm like severely missing something or doing some kind of unique build. So make sure you go for that. And while I was just planning, using the map tags here to help plan things out. Ur is actually in a super good spot, so I want to befriend them as soon as possible in a couple turns, and then eventually integrate them because they're in a super good area with a lot of good resources. And so then I was looking, because I got this quest of have a settlement adjacent to a mountain, and not really any good mountain spots I can see right now. I don't want to come up here next to this guy, though we will most likely be taking him out. But I found a couple spots down here that look like they're gonna be pretty good. But now we have another village that's hostile. Now, of course, in the settings you can always turn that off, where you have every village is friendly automatically, if you want to go the next step to make it even more beginner friendly. But default is pretty good. It's not too hard to deal with them if you're thinking about it. We did find Edward Teach of Carthage and Harriet Tubman of Aksum. They both came from this, I'm calling it northeast direction. We met Edward Teach first, we friended him, and we friended Harriet Tubman. Now, we supported this endeavor with another leader. That gives us +3 by itself. And then +2 having an endeavor with another leader. That's super helpful. But he gave us open markets because we're Himiko of Wa. We can support for free. That gave us an extra 6 gold per turn, which is coming in super clutch. Okay, that's why I said she is so beginner friendly. You're going to make them friendly at the same time that you're getting a bunch of resources for yourself. And it's just fantastic. So now we're going to move right along and see what comes about. We have been getting our food stacked up, so we're already at 7 pop. I mean, you get a couple for your different buildings you put down. So now we're trying to get our settlers out. We want 2 settlers out as soon as possible. We finished up our early science, so we're on masonry now, and now we're headed towards earthworks to get our Mississippian civic bonuses so that we get extra production 2 buildings once we get done with our settlers. As soon as you hit pop 5, you need to crank out 2 settlers to be at your settlement limit as soon as possible. That's just the best thing to do because they give you everything. But seeing how slow this is taking me to do this is telling me, I'm pretty good on food at 20 right here so far. I need to start focusing a little bit more on the production, which I will with the salt pit. I threw in a burning arrow just in case I had some people coming and I needed to defend myself. This is likely to get reshuffled in exchange for the altar. But this is where we're at, and we're going to keep on chugging along. Okay, and this is why you may want to turn the city-states on all friendly from the get-go, because we have yet another hostile village. This is like 4 of them. 1 down here, 2 right here, and 1 I don't even know where they're at. And so what we're gonna have to do is next turn we're gonna have to buy a archer in here to defend ourselves. We did manage to get this settlement down and defending from here, but I mean, now they've got more. This guy's not a burning arrow, and so that is going to affect things. He got hit by 1 guy early as he was traveling, so that's going to be a bit of a pain. Looks like this guy backed away for some reason, so that's good. We may have to buy our burning arrow down here. So here we go. We get to do open market, which is another 6 per turn. Lovely. So we did get that plus the construction. Now what I'm really wanting to do is this shell timber pottery, because we get gold adjacencies for resources. Buildings are adjacent to resources, and so that's automatically showing you with the mod plus 4 gold. And then we'll probably wait on these others until we need them. The Wahi will probably be last depending on our military situation, but the Kadnaha will wait until we're doing much better in the trade department. But I do want this. It's going to get the Monk's Mountain super early and cheaper, so that's going to be helpful. And then we're going to come over here and just blow through the Antiquity civics. But what we have to focus on right now is our settlements that are under attack. We also had a guy die down here, so now we're down to 2 scouts, which is okay. We did most of the scouting around our original area, which is what you want as soon as possible. I'm thinking somebody incited Jeshi against us based on how everything is looking. I'm going to take this opportunity to heal him up. Let's just... Pot cop is good. We don't want to put the pot cop here because this is going to be replaced by our science buildings. But over here, we're probably not replacing the farms with anything. At least this one right here. This one we might grow out over here. So this one we'll just place that down in the queue. That's going to be super helpful. And since we're getting attacked so much, let's go ahead and queue up some ancient walls. And I like to do this. I know a lot of times it will change, but when I do it like this, I just keep myself from, forgetting about things and doing other things, and then realizing, oh, I should have done XYZ. Okay, so that's just why I do that. But I'm gonna purchase a burning arrow. We're gonna need that help real fast. Down here, why not get some more food and culture. That's super helpful. Yeah, we're not gonna move anywhere with this guy until our military unit can go with us next turn. Oh look, there's another one. There, that's where you were hiding. All right, well, we definitely need to take out this guy or incorporate him. How are we looking on Earth? Did he boost up? No, we're gonna beat him. We have a few more turns to go. This is also another good spot. I want to incorporate good resources, good distribution. We're going to want to incorporate that pretty quick, and just to make them to stop attacking us. So that's why I try and conserve my influence early, and have some things planned out. So we'll see what happens. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Oh man, and this is something that the Deity AI does quite a bit, and it's a little annoying. Guys settle literally right next to me. I'm trying to play a pretty chill game, so we'll see how that goes. Thankfully, because I was friendly with him, a couple of things didn't make him go negative. I'm gonna have to pull this guy back and see if he tries to be mean and go to war with me. Otherwise, we got a big problem right here. Big problem. I'm trying to escort the settler down here, but it looks like somebody has incited this city-state against me, and you can tell because of how many units they have. Next turn, I can get another burning arrow. I'm just gonna have to bring this guy down. Maybe I should have gotten the discipline out. We'll just have to switch to that. Sometimes that happens. You just gotta switch to things pretty quick. We're gonna take this because we're about to get in another celebration.
There is the
our growth is going pretty good. We need more work on our buildings, and now we'll take that. Gold would be nice, but that's fine. That's just gonna have to be fine for now. We'll take that. That's always nice. This does +1 gold or 1 production and 3 happiness. That will be helpful here shortly. Maybe we can scoot this guy by. Anuradahapura. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm very poor about that. But anyways, moving right along. We yeah, we're not looking pretty, but this is why we do defensive wars, and I have the burning arrows. We did have these guys over here surrounded, but we were able to fight them off pretty quick and pretty easy. And I'm going to show you that next turn, like just how good it is. And that's our second one gone. The AI has been doing a lot more, especially on Deity, about going for Gate of All Nations and Der Shuriken. It's a little upsetting. Okay, so this is why I focus on these guys first, any sort of range unit, because this guy took some damage by attacking the city. But now look, this is burning, so they're not going to want to step into there. It starts to funnel them, which is honestly super helpful. They have their own commander, which is not super helpful at all. We can come down here. I really hate using gold to buy units. It's not going to let me because I have a guy here. That's a big mistake that I forgot about. They used to let you buy a unit and just pop it outside the city. But what I should have done, I should have moved the guy out, then bought a unit, and then shot. But that's fine. We'll be okay. We're just going to take a few turns. We'll probably come back about turn 55 and see where we're at. All right. So now we finally got into Caithness. We're about to clear Caithness. It's going to give us some production. It's going to be helpful. Somebody wasted diplomacy sending these guys against us because now we're friendly with them. Oh, Blackbeard denounced us, which is not good. So we're going to have to be on the watch out for that. We're trying to save up our diplomacy because we want to incorporate and Alchian as soon as we can. Those are going to be good city spots, and then maybe even Anandurabura we can get. But we're going to try now to expand down here and see what's down here. This is why the mod for showing combat power is helpful. Is I started falling behind, so I had to quickly focus some gold and some production turns to get my combat power up. I had some discoveries that I was like, oh, do you want a warrior or do you want a quest or something else? And so I just had to pick the military for now to help us survive over the next several turns. And yeah, so now we're looking pretty good. We're gonna have our army commander heal up. Our monument should have already been done, but it got messed up. So we're going to move that first because that's going to be a huge bust for us. And then we're going into, after this settler, we're going to go into some wonder building stages. And hopefully we can start spending our gold to get buildings. We're trying to get our code of law so we can get some merchants out. That will help make people more friendly. Even if it's not the best merchants, it will be helpful. But then what that also tells me, because of how people are not so friendly, we're gonna have to look at getting the Wahi and the Katnaha. I think that's how you pronounce those. But anyway, so we get pillaging and defense, combat strength, and then we get resources, more gold and happiness for imported resources. That's probably gonna be helpful. These guys, these two, the Der Shuriken and the Gate of All Nations, used to be some of my go-to wonders, but I think Blackbeard built those. I can't get those, so it's kind of like, well, you know, what's the point about getting those? But we need the code of laws for sure. That's critical to our plan. But yeah, so now we just take some time to. Oh my goodness, this guy really. Like, I really don't want to go to war with him, but this Joker's gonna make me. All right, so 100 production. We'll kill you, and we'll kill you. Okay, well, we are probably gonna have to go to war then. This guy should be easy to kill once these guys. 12, if we can last 12 turns, that's gonna be some extra army coming in there for that. As far as these guys, I don't really want to go up here. This is bad land, no resources. So we're gonna come down here and just have to explore over this way a little bit. A migrant or a warrior. Well, considering we're about to go to war, I'm grabbing that warrior. I did get my bronze working, so I can start upgrading my burning arrows, which will be super helpful. Nothing else is looking too helpful right now. I mean, we could get the ballista I'm not interested in doing any of that kind of stuff. The villa would be nice, don't get me wrong. I think because of where we're at, yeah, I think because where we're at, we're gonna need to get the bronze working mastery. Nothing else is looking too helpful right now. I mean, we could get the ballista, but I'm not interested in doing any of that kind of stuff. The villa would be nice, don't get me wrong. I think because of where we're at, yeah, I think because where we're at, we're gonna need to get the bronze working mastery, and then well, what do we gotta do this one first. Yeah, let's just get the bronze working mastery because we're about to get some military buildings, and we'll need that combat strength for the war. I mean, it's always good to have extra combat strength waiting around, just in case you do go to war. So that's what we're gonna be doing. Gotta be nice, but you know what? Edward Teach did not want to be nice. So that's what we're gonna have to do, and we're gonna see what happens over the next several turns, and when something key happens, we'll return to show you. All right, here we are at turn 70. We've finally got another city down here that we are growing. We are incorporating we have some half upgraded units and half other units. We're moving over here with our commander because Edward Teach is for sure going to go to war with us. It's just a matter of time, and so that is it's gonna be a problem. Just gonna be a problem. So we need to come over here to defend this with our burning arrows. We've got some burning arrows over here that will take this because we really want Mount Kilimanjaro. I want to incorporate Kalchian later, and that means this city's got to die. I'm going to try and kill it and let their units do the capturing, and so they can take the debuff for raising a city. That'd be super helpful. I'm also trying to get Harriet Tubman 4 away from befriending me. I'm not going to use my Diplox. I need to save up 240 to get Kalchian on my side. But that's where we're at. Petra is gone. That's a little upsetting. I wanted Petra, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, now we're just chugging along. We're trying to survive. We got to build up our production's doing okay, but we need a little bit more military to keep people at bay. Our culture and science is doing okay. It's about now where we start ramping things up tremendously. What's up, Napoleon? I should have just neutral met him, but that's fine. That's sometimes that just happens. But yeah, so now since we're about to go to war, we're gonna be focusing on the combat strength. That's picking that. Science for gold. Science, much as that would be helpful, I think I need the gold just to have it in my back pocket. Oh, she is now friendly with us. See if we can get an alliance. Yes, indeed. Come here. We're going to build fortifications. I built the Hanging Gardens. That is unfortunate. I had that in my plans to build, but it is what it is. You can't get them all, even though you try. I mean, you could, but small map, that kind of deal. You've just built what? You built the Colosseum. All right, so that means you're up on the top side. Nobody's done, what is it? No one's done Terracotta Army yet, which is a little surprising. Also, I think what I'm gonna need to do after citizenship, I'm gonna need to get, this one so we can have some more pillaging and have defensive combat. But that's where we're at. Let's rock and roll through. Let's see if we can get to turn 100 before something major happens. Right now, we're just focused on building up Cahokia, trying to save up money so that we can turn Alabama into a city. We need 300, but we've just been a little bit behind on things, so we've had to use money for our units, for buildings, but we're gonna save up now and turn Alabama into a city and start cranking out more buildings. Alabama will be the next one that we will build up. We'll focus, since we already have the land developed, we'll focus on science and then our production buildings, and then we'll do our warehouse buildings. and start pumping out units from there. So let's see what happens, and we'll come back in just a bit. All right, turn 101. Not much has changed. We did finally get over here, get things upgraded, got some more wonders, got some boats to help out. I do need to get some boats because Edward Teach likes people who builds boats, so I need to get some of those for next age to get them off my back. We're trying to explore down here some more and find more trade routes since we are so close. But now we're focusing right now on getting our numbers up. So our science is starting to go through the roof. Our culture is going to be shortly behind that, and we're really just waiting for Edward Teach here to attack us. I'm not exactly sure what we've got to do to get him to be upset enough to attack us. I don't want to do the ones attacking him, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm trying to get some people that he is hostile with, namely Frederic, and unfriendly with, to come and attack with me. I also need to find some more information. My exploration got sidetracked real fast because of the city-state situation, but need to see more of this Pangea. It's supposed to be Pangea map, but it is the most awkward Pangea I've ever come across. So there is that. What did you just do? Angkor Wat? That's fine. I wasn't planning on getting that one. Emil Bell just completed. We can't get any other wonders there. Alabama is coming online. I need to double check. Okay. Wei Yang must be placed on grassland. Okay. Petra was built already. Okay. That's fine. We'll get another one of those. Now let's get our altar. Hold on a second. What was I going to do? Coming over this way for a reason. I guess it could be right by that. Okay, so get our monument then. Take our monument right over there, and we'll put our altar right over there. Then that means our markets. We need to start maximizing our gold, and then our happiness next. All right, and we will get ancient walls in here. Then we'll circle back around and do our growth so that we keep growing in the next age. But that's pretty good. Let's also weave in a couple of our merchants. That's gonna be super helpful. You've always got to weave those in. You could buy them, but they just get so expensive so fast. We might, after this, want to try and get more defensive guys out. I'm going to actually move these guys up in the queue because I want a little bit faster. A little bit faster. And we're gonna take, I'm just gonna take a ballista for if we do go to war. It's gonna come in handy pretty quick, pretty darn quick. All right, now we can get some specialists going. That's super helpful. We do need that food and that production. That is what we're focusing on. So I mean, nothing better than that spot right there. The more camely do's or camely don'ts. Who really knows? All right, let's go over there. All right. Now we're looking good. Yeah, just a matter of if we can get more people on our side. I gotta explore. Where are we at over here? I need to keep exploring. Find more trade routes. Not sure what the problem is with the trade routes. You auto explore for me. You should be safe. Can't believe people have still not taken out Jeshi yet. All right, let's go over there. All right. Now we're looking good. Yeah, just a matter of if we can get more people on our side. I gotta explore. Where are we at over here? Need to keep exploring. Find more trade routes. Not sure what the problem is with the trade routes. You auto explore for me. You should be safe. Can't believe people have still not taken out Jeshi yet. That's looking like I'm gonna have to friend them because I'm gonna need their help, even though I don't really want to. Yeah, this is where we're at. So plans change. You know, things don't ever go exactly according to plan, but that is fine. We're gonna keep rocking and rolling and see what comes about. Maybe we go to war soon, maybe not. I do know before the age ends, I am going to attack him and take out this city because Calcion is mine in 3 turns, and so I'm going to want Kilimanjaro. I don't want him to have it. We might go to war here in 3 turns. We'll see what happens, but you will be the first to know. Well. Looks like Blackbeard decided to attack. He thinks he's got the advantage. He's got another thing coming because we have the brains. Okay. He probably moved almost all his forces around us here, so he's going to be hurting. That's for sure. Move in here and then want to pop you out here. That's fine right there. We're gonna take this guy and shoot him, and we're gonna do that so fast, so easy. Army commander. We're gonna actually. So a lot of times I like to take Bastion, but I think yeah, I think we're gonna take Bastion first. I like the defensive capabilities, especially in Deity Ai, and as soon as we can, we're gonna need to get our defensive ones in here. Oh, we already do. Never mind. Preemptive. Forgot about that. Yeah. So let's just start burning people up. You can't see him. Well, you know that's a bit of a problem. Okay. Let's move you guys up. Sometimes you just gotta reconfigure this. All right, this is what happens. You can't just blindly keep your build order. You gotta do some things differently. That blacksmith, we need to get him in. That's for sure. Where do we want to get him in at? We would love to get him in here. We've got to go around. Why do we have this? Because I forgot. Normally I don't have 2 wonders right next to each other, but yeah, wonders also give they give pretty good adjacency bonuses. All right, so we gotta just scoot this guy up. But we're gonna finish out our defensive measures, and then we're gonna run in and take that out. Don't have any other one we can get right now. We've okay down here. Sometimes the AI likes to loop around and put some units other places, so I just like to double check to make sure you know, we're not getting flanked. All right, so this will be fine. We'll have that guy come out next turn. Yeah. So we're gonna be good. So our burning arrows have extra 4 combat strength on the defensive, so that's gonna be super helpful. You know, I might even want to bait them in and come back a little bit. That was probably gonna be pretty good. Yeah, we want to bait them in. We want them to come up closer so we can attack them. Who built what? Edward Teach is building the lighthouse. Oh, he even supported himself. Okay, well, this is gonna be an interesting war. So make sure you guys stick around to see what happens. This is gonna be a little slow going. We're not gonna worry about the war weariness. That's just one. We are going to easily take him out and make him regret fighting us. And yeah, we're gonna keep on. We're gonna try and turn some of these other people to our side and see what happens. All right, well, we did the best we could to defend Earth. It made him lose a bunch of units, and we're going to take the influence we got from him taking it. We're going to friend Jesse out and get some more bonuses and come back and attack. We're almost taking over this, and then we'll raise it so that our newly incorporated Calchin can actually have room to grow. We just defended off a large invasion here, so now we're going to go on our counter attack, which is going to be to take out Malef and then just see what happens. You know, because of, you know, we didn't have a great start. We didn't have a lot of production items at the start. We had to worry about Teach. We did not have, I would say it was not the best start, but I'm just doing this to show you that you don't have to have the best start to have a good game. Okay, our numbers are starting to climb up. Our culture definitely has taken a hit because we've had to focus more on science to get our military up because of Teach. If we did not have him breathing down our necks, we could have focused more on culture and you know, been doing better there. We're starting to see some more wonders fall, which is to be expected on Deity Ai, but you probably won't have that big of a problem. But I just want to show you, even on the hardest difficulties, you can still have success. And we're 60% way through the age, but we're going to end the age pretty strong and set up well for the remainder of the game. But just showing you these little glimpses of every 10 to 15 turns to show you, you know, you have a plan and you're focused on it, but you know, sometimes the game throws you a curveball and you've got to adjust accordingly, which is not a bad thing. It's what keeps it fun and interesting. But even when things don't go according to plan, that's because you have your focus about what you want to do, you can still achieve a victory and not really stress a whole lot. So hopefully that's what you guys are taking away from this. And we're going to continue out for not just the Antiquity Age, but for all 3 ages for this complete beginner's guide to Civ 7, so that you can see exactly what to do in each age. Okay, not all gonna be in one video. You can already tell in the timestamp in the title, it's not one video. Okay, but just let you know there's gonna be other ones coming to help you see throughout the whole game what you can do, what you should do, if you want a chill game. Because really now you're seeing us focus on war, and war really slows down a lot of things, and that just throws everything off. So hopefully we can have more chill game in the other ages. All right, let me finish up this war and come back to you in a few turns. All right, several turns later, we did take over Maleth and defend off some cavalry and other counterattacks. He still has a super strong army out there somewhere. What's crazy is I could go to peace with him. I could take any city I want except for Ur back, but Ur's the one I want. This guy finally did burn up, so that's good. So I'm gonna try and come around here and take Ur, and then see what else I can take from him, you know. And as I was telling, so I stream live on Twitch while I'm making these videos for you guys, so if you want to see it in action, come over there and we can chat. But I was telling chat, the problem is with war is it just sucks so many resources. I was doing a quick calculation estimating, I probably spent 1,200 gold or more buying units. I mean, let's look at Calchin. It's a city already. All right, you know, that's buildings built. There's just so many things that represents that slowed down because of war. That's why I disagree with people that saying war is the best method. War is good because if it's a graph, and I've talked about this before in other videos, war keeps everybody like generally lower, versus if everybody simmed, everybody would get higher, but it's just you can get still higher than everybody else. So in general, for all of the world and society, it's better not to go to war. But you can look like you're absolutely dominating if you are the only one surviving and everybody else is dying. But my highest numbers I've ever gotten have been from not fighting. But that's just a little aside, but just showing you guys off what we got going on here. We're gonna leave 3 units down here to defend the coastline, and we're gonna come over and see what kind of defenses he has hopefully him and Harriet Tubman have been fighting and hurting each other, and so now that should distract them from me coming in, and I may even try and send some reinforcements around them not fighting. But that's just a little aside, but just showing you guys off what we got going on here. We're gonna leave 3 units down here to defend the coastline, and we're gonna come over and see what kind of defenses he has. Hopefully him and Harriet Tubman have been fighting and hurting each other, and so now that should distract them from me coming in, and I may even try and send some reinforcements around this way. We'll see what happens. All right, but we're starting to get caught up on our science. We just unlocked our academy. Now we're gonna come through filling our masteries to get our science tree done for our age progress. Military is kind of taking care of itself. Once we take over another city, we'll have number 2, so that's great. Economy will eventually take care of itself. Culture is going to, this is going to be the problem, because this is the biggest problem with doing war in Antiquity, because we haven't been getting these cities, we haven't been getting our buildings up faster and everything. We've been having our wonders we wanted taken out from under us left, right, and center, which usually in Deity Ai, you know, that happens a little bit, but it happened quite a lot. Now, if you're not playing on Deity, it's going to be easier, even with war. But I'm just showing you the hardest version possible so that you can have the confidence that regardless of what you play on, if you follow these simple rules of that I showed in my last video, and then play it out like this of having a plan and just sticking with it, even when things don't go according to plan on the hardest difficulty, you can still come out victorious. That's what I want to show. But now, no more rambling, back to the game, and we'll come back in a few turns. All right, a bunch has changed. We're finally starting to get our gold up, finally starting to get our science up. I did a beginner mistake. I forgot to do the friend away, but we've got that going now, which means our science has increased by 25%. Should have been doing that every time with Harriet Tubman as soon as she was an ally, but I got distracted. We were slowly pushing in here. I believe he made friends with her, yeah, so he's gonna be focusing his army on me, which means I've got a little bit of time before comes back around. So he already will give me back, so I'm gonna spend a few turns to heal up. I'm gonna come in full force, see if I can't take and then maybe one other city just to kind of, you know, kick him real good, and see what happens. We defended off his galley against Maleth, and we're about to get Mendito Perdido. So things are starting to finally turn around here. It's a little later than I would like, but you know, it's okay. We're doing pretty good. And let's take a quick peek at our legacy pass. We should get up to here on that one. We will get up to here. Our science is starting to zoom ahead, and our economy is starting to zoom ahead as we're getting more trade routes and everything out. Yeah, so it's looking pretty good. It started off definitely a little rough because we did not have as much production as we'd like in the war. Again, not to beat a dead horse, but slowed us down. But we're picking things up. Cannot believe this guy is still alive. But anyways, as we're getting more discoveries done, I'm gonna try and see if there's any other city-states people have not picked up, and I'm gonna snag those for myself. Like OpenA, it was really good to have an economic city-state close by in the start because you get Lapis Lazuli, which is big production off the start. But it's okay. We're gonna wrap this age up pretty soon. We'll probably come back about 85% age progress and then 100. So stick around, don't go anywhere, and we'll have an after-action talk about how did this first age goes for you beginners and what you could do to make sure you have a success either in this age or at least to set you up in the next age. Let's look at our rankings real quick. Harriet Tubman is in the lead with 7. That's not a problem. We are guaranteed to get at least 2 more, maybe 3 more. So we'll see. We'll see how it ends. But don't worry, the game doesn't end in this age. So let's keep that long-term view. All right, we'll be back. All right, got our completed economic golden age. We're about to get our scientific golden age. We're about to get a next point in military. I checked, and we're all out of world wonders, so this is where it's just gonna be good. We got 2 points here, and it's fine. I don't usually like the golden age amphitheaters retain their bonus yields. I don't usually like to keep that one. The economic one is usually, in my opinion, the best because it keeps all your cities, so it saves you a ton of gold. But we reconquered Now we're gonna go back. We're gonna go to peace. Earlier, I was able to get and this city right here. So we're gonna see what we can get. I would really like these two because they're next to each other. Or sorry, this one's next to so it gives me a little bit more space. But I'll take 2 cities off of Blackbeard any day. Anytime I can get 2 cities off the AI. And look, that pushes us straight up to the Golden Age, baby. All right, so we're pretty much set. We're gonna get, in the next few turns, we'll finish off the Science Golden Age. And we're gonna be good. So this is how you can turn. If you just take things slow, don't freak out, you can easily turn a negative into a positive. I'm going to keep this settlement. And now what I like to do to end my ages, this is food and culture. I don't have a spot for you, but I want you to want me. Anyways, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna be saving our gold. Let's see, we have these 3 cities. Chickasaw is looking like it's probably gonna be the next city because it's at 9. Maybe honestly. I need to repair the saw pit. 650, and its level is 13 pop. I usually like to turn cities or settlements into cities around 13 pop or so. This guy, let's just turn you into a fort town. I think that's probably going to be the best. Well, that's more gold. Let's just go mining town. I think we're pretty good. Growth everywhere. 9 turns. In that 9 turns, I'd rather have more gold to help our cities level up. Everybody else can just Kusa. Once Kusa goes 9, we'll turn that to a mining town. Once this one turns up, we'll probably put this a resort town. I mean, we've got mountains here, we got some coast. It's looking pretty good, but we're looking pretty good. We got 12% left in the age. 200 gold per turn, so roughly 3 turns, and we'll get as a city. Then 3 more turns, and we might do another city. But 4 maybe 5 cities going into exploration age after a rough, not anywhere close to optimal start is pretty good to me. And out of all of our legacy paths, we don't get 1 legacy point. That's pretty good to me too. All right, let's finish this up and come back at the end of the age. All right, we are getting to the last turn of the game, or at least not the game, of this age, and then we're going to discuss some things. We just in the nick of time pulled out all of their civics to help out with our settlement limit. Good thing we got JSC and got that extra settlement limit from them earlier on. We're gonna talk about how things went from starting off not a great start, but something most of you guys will see. And then going throughout the game. Now, just real quick, there's anything for 1 turn that we might want. I mean, getting 11 more gold is always nice. Good thing about Blackbeard for a couple things, when you're playing against him, it can be scary, but when he comes into your waters, you can actually cross the waters with your armies, and he can't attack unless he's at war. I know this from playing as Blackbeard, and so I also know that the ballista do a ton of damage to the ships in Antiquity. That's why you see me have more ballista out now, burning arrows for defense on the ground. And this is just a specific right now to Edward Teach when you're having to fight him. He's going to have a bunch of boats like this. Probably half of his combat power is boats. So it's a little deceiving. That's why we were able to kind of fend him off earlier. But before I hit this last turn and we take our after action report, let's just go through here and take a quick gander at things. Make sure there's nothing like super important we need to get. We could probably buy that lighthouse. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we really need to get going. Academy would be nice for extra science later on. Kusa was the last city that we got to start up. So I'm gonna buy a few things just to help us out in the start of the next age. You know, some food and gold is always nice. But yeah, so let's just recap. We start off, I mean, the mangoes aren't bad, not the best start, excuse me. But you know, we had a plan. We want to be friendly with people, and we want to just sim up and go for a science victory because of her friend of way bonus. To just sim up and go for a science victory because of her friend of way bonus, which we started using. Haven't used it lately to conserve some diplomacy because I was trying to get Edward Teach to be at least unfriendly, if not neutral. I did not get Napoleon there, and we'll see. Because we form alliances, Napoleon doesn't like us, but it's okay because this is going to snap back probably to pretty close to neutral at the start of the next age for those guys. Tubman will be high and helpful. Frederick will probably be light. So that's gonna be good. What we can do at the start of the next age is rush some trade ships to good old Blackbeard to try and get him friendly. We can start rushing him with some diplomacy, but I'll usually wait on diplomacy even more in exploration age, as you'll see when we get there. Don't want to jump ahead, so you have to watch the next video for that. But oh, I meant to show that. So we have all of our codices we needed. We have a ton of resources now. So we're really getting going. We're at 311 gold per turn, which is top on the map, but that's really helped us catch up. You'll see our science is now caught up. We are not the best. We are, what, third, barely? And then our culture is definitely caught up, and we're third in culture. Our happiness per turn is pretty good. Our diplomacy per turn is pretty good. And yeah, we have good cities. We got some good trade routes. Yes, our combat power is not that great, but considering we are pretty friendly with everybody right around us, I'm, you know, except for Blackbeard, obviously, I'm not too concerned about that. We will probably have to do something about that next age, but it's good. Now let's take a recap of our legacy paths. As I said before, we didn't get 3 more of these because of the war. Literally the war, we would have had everything, but that's fine. We still end up golden age for military, science, and economic. We're going to pick economic because what I started doing towards the end was converting a lot of cities and buying them to get them up to speed as soon as possible. It's like Ur's a halfway decent city. Like, we have almost everything done in Ur. In Calcheon, we have pretty much everything done. Cahokia's done, Alabama's done. Kusa's the one that had the most that we needed to get done, but I mean, it's still got a fair amount base to go forward, and these other ones we have set up to do something. So this one, next age, will be a resort city, and we'll probably have we'll probably turn this into a fort town or resort city here. I haven't decided yet. This guy is definitely going to be a fort town, just because no matter what, just knowing Blackbeard, we're gonna have another war, so you know, a lot of is gonna be spent at the beginning of the next age preparing for that. And the reason I'm going over this is you've got to be thinking, okay, age is about to end. What am I gonna do next age? What civilization am I gonna pick? All that kind of things. So just giving you a little tidbit and just showing you don't have to have a perfect start. Don't worry about wasting time re-rolling. All right, as a beginner, just play everything. Get 50 turns in. You're like, man, this start was really crappy. Just start a new game, you know, or go back to an earlier save. It's totally fine. You don't have to min-max everything. I certainly didn't min-max this, and I'm still had a blast seeing if I could, you know, get ahead and or come back and then even get ahead. So, you know, do the same, right? Like, you don't have to just min-max and, oh, this isn't playing perfect. Oh, I don't have a 4-cotton opener and all this stuff that you see these other crazy YouTubers do. That's why this is the ultimate beginner's guide, all right? Because we're just looking at things and just playing for having fun. And so what you gotta worry about is you know, the 3 rules that I went over, and again, I'll link that down in the pinned comment. We had a plan. We focused on our resources, our food production and gold, and our diplomacy earlier. That kept Edward Teach at bay for a while, and then we used our gold and production to implement our 3rd rule, which is our military, to make sure we could stall them off and then push back and reclaim our city, and then able to grab a couple of cities because of that. You know, and we made sure as we were friending up other people, our secret rule 4, if you haven't seen that, go look it up. we made sure we didn't ally people who were at war with other people, you know, and it really helped us come from behind on Deity. But Himiko Quinoa as Mississippians, definitely the best start for the beginners out there. It just makes things a lot easier. If you want, make sure you can set up and make sure you have certain leaders that are gonna be a little bit nicer, a little tamer for you. So that's my 2 cents, guys. This has been your Casual Dad. I've been teaching to play Civilization 7, the ultimate beginner's guide. Stay tuned for the next episode as we go through the exploration age. I'll talk about the ones we unlocked, other ones we didn't unlock that you may want to think about when you're starting off. We might change up our mementos. We'll just examine all that stuff, okay? And then we'll get started on that one, and it's gonna be a great time, guys. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with a friend who is starting off Civ 7 and needs some help so that they can get good and y'all can play together. All right, the name of the game is to play together and have fun. All right, so do what you gotta do to have fun. Deity, Settler, anywhere in between, it doesn't matter. Use mods, don't use mods, it doesn't matter. But we just like to have fun here on the Casual Dad Gaming channel. No min-maxing unless you absolutely want to. All right, that's it, guys. I love you. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.